What's up, everyone? Today I have a great video that I have titled 10 Ways to Start Your Day When You Have Chronic Anxiety or OCD. None of these things alone are going to bring you to recovery, but what a lot of these things will do is actually help build your frustration tolerance, as Albert Ellis coined in the first book, How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything, Yes Anything, that in 70 years of doing psychotherapy and basically creating RBT, which led to CBT, he noticed that humans have very, very poor frustration tolerances. And because humans' frustration tolerances are so low, it really does interfere with many things in their life because they have these preconceived beliefs that they can't do certain things have to be a certain way and stuff like that. So again, none of these are going to lead you to recovery alone, but these really worked for me. You can pick and choose ones that maybe you want to try and see, but building a good lifestyle is just unbelievably helpful for getting better from chronic anxiety. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Let me know if you do any of these. Let me know if you hate some of these. Some of these you might hate. Some of these you might be avoiding, which is really important not to avoid certain things based out of fear if you're going to actually go backwards. So number one is getting up when you wake up. And I put a side comment in there and make your own bed. I make my bed every day. It's just one little task. There's all sorts of different stuff out there. If you don't make your bed, it's going to ruin the rest of your day. We're not talking about irrational, hardcore beliefs that you hear on gurus. I'm talking that I like making my bed. It's one small little task I like to do. And it, gives me a sense of accomplishment in a way. So I like that. So a lot of anxiety sufferers will sit in their bed and they'll mull around. And I've never even said that, mull around. They won't get out of bed. They'll just lay there all day. And this is not good. You want to get out of bed. You want to start the day, whether that's taking a shower or getting something to eat and going from there. Number two is healthy eating. When you're chronically stuck, it's very easy to only eat garbage. Now, this is something I do in my private life. So there's a huge difference between balanced eating and black and white eating. Just like there are with belief patterns, the behaviors are very similar. No carbs, no sugar, no fat, all these black and white things that actually don't lead you to where you want to go. You want to go out and have some pizza? Have a couple pieces. Don't eat the whole pie. It's all about balance. Balance is key. But a healthy diet, primarily of whole foods, now vegetables and fruits. And there's all sorts of guidelines out there. I'm not here to talk about nutrition because this isn't what I do on this channel, but the general guidelines is 1 to 2 servings of fruits and vegetables per 1,000 calories. So if you eat 3,000 calories a day, it's 2 to 4 servings of fruit and vegetables. That's a solid basis right there. Number 3, exercise. I go to the gym 6 days a week and I hike 1 day. It's really important for my life. It gives me structure. It gives me something to look forward to in the morning. Now, I've had to do a lot of work on this. I no longer follow programs. I go to the gym. I kind of have like some set days that I do, like I do push-pull legs, but I don't have any idea what I'm going to do when I go in there. I might do some really low reps. I might do some high reps. Anything outside of that, it becomes too much because lifting is just a part of life. I love lifting. I love training. I love building muscle. I love getting stronger. I love challenging myself, but it doesn't define who I am. So there needs to be a balance with the exercise. It's absolutely key when it comes to this. And I promise you, I'm going to fix this aura around my head very soon. I think we ordered the background yesterday. Number 4 is socializing. Key. This doesn't mean get out of bed and go knock on your neighbor's door and be like, socialize with me. Have a conversation with me. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is socialize with the world. Well, get out of bed, start your day. Maybe you take your dogs for a walk. Maybe you talk to your spouse, your family members. A lot of people just want to hide. And it's just, I promise you, it's not what you want to do. We have so many irrational beliefs about being an introvert. Jade's last video, she talked about, I'm a homebody. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that everyone's an extrovert and super eccentric like me, but I think that human interaction and social connection is extremely good for people, let alone being highly substantiated in the empirical data. Talking to people and being out with people is amazing. It's great. It also teaches you frustration tolerance because let's say you're not good in conversation. Well, go out there and have some conversations. Build some frustration tolerance. Number 5 is Netflix. Look, I love Netflix. Rob has been making fun of me because there's that new documentary called 14 Peaks. I've watched it 3 times in 3 days. That's a typical Nick Pinello move right there. but it's a great documentary. Now, it's really easy to sit down and just watch Netflix all day and not really engage with life. Netflix, and there's so much black and white. I cut out social media for the rest of my life. I'm never watching Netflix again. I have no TV in my house. There is a very, very famous person who has millions of followers who I love, who's a clinical psychologist, and he brags about how he doesn't have a TV in his house since 1984. But he's pretty damn irrational and pessimistic. So what has that done for your life? I would rather watch the news, see something I don't agree with, and think, I don't agree with that, but maybe I see where they're coming from. I just don't agree with that point at all, but I can still listen. When you do these crazy things like, I'm not watching Netflix anymore, I'm not using social media, you are setting yourself up so when it is introduced in your life again, that you're going to go, I can't stand it, I can't have it here, I can't do it. Balance is everything. I'm not talking about if you're an alcoholic or you're shooting up heroin. All right, I'm not talking about the extremes. Humans love to take, well, you must not be talking about this. No, I'm talking about the average person. I'm not talking about someone who's living under a bridge smoking crack. All right, it's not what I'm talking about. My buddies and I joke about this all the time. I have a lot of friends who are recovered addicts. Number 6 is coffee. Huge. Right here. Coffee is a great thing in my life. I love coffee. It's actually funny. I only drank black coffee. Let me know. This is a great one. Let me know what you think about this. Comment when you hear it. Black coffee or flavored, well, no, or like cream and sugar. So I've been drinking black coffee for years. Only black coffee. I like cold brews. But I've been putting a little bit of cream in my coffees, and I understand. But the thing is, it's like it's no longer coffee. It's now a dessert. You know what I mean? Like you go to Starbucks or this place here that we have called Dutch Bros, and you get these things, and you're like, this is like crack. This isn't even coffee anymore. I totally went off on a tangent about coffee. That's super important. I'm just in a really goofy mood right now. I think it's important to do this. You would have never seen this 2 years ago. You would have seen like staring through a screen. I'm telling you, you can make progress. You can make progress. I promise you. I was there. I was in the mental hospital 25 months ago in a bad spot, highly suicidal. So goals. What are your goals? Now, goals are important to talk about in a rational way. The majority of people have goals, and if they don't reach them, they freak out. No, I never reached my goals, because you have conditional acceptance about yourself. Totally different topic for a different conversation. But when I have goals, let's talk about some of my goals. Seriously, let's talk about them, because I think it's important to use an example. Goal number 1, build a real estate portfolio. Have enough passive income coming in, and that kind of goes over my earned income. Hike a lot. Go to the gym a lot. Build a great relationship with my wife, walk my dogs, get better at listening. I'm not going to be able to accomplish all my goals. I might not ever become the success, like the monetary success that I would like. That's completely okay. I could go live in an RV. I don't know. It's just like, this doesn't mean that you can't have passion towards your goals, but the problem is people go, well, if I can't reach my goals, I might as well not even try. I don't agree with that. I think that's a pretty bad way to look at it. So goals are important. Number 8 is by far the most important one on this list to me. Work. Let me take a sip of coffee for this one. You do not need time off work. The majority of you. Arbitrarily, 1 out of every 500 maybe needs to take some time off to maybe kickstart the process of recovery and then get back into work. The longer you stay away from life, the longer you stay away from work and building up your lifestyle habits, the harder it's more than likely going to be to get back into work. I can't stand it. I can't do it. I see this with people in my own career that have been off work for 10 months. I'm afraid to go back to work. I had that conversation with someone recently, and I was explaining to them why their fear of staying home and not going back to work was really hindering their recovery process when they came to pain. Very similar. Very similar. So have goals. What are your goals? Maybe read 15, 20 minutes a day, dispute, walk the dogs, maybe go to the gym. Everything I just talked about before this can be a goal. You know, make your bed, but show yourself some compassion if you forget. Goals are important, but they're not the only important thing in life. I go to all these business seminars where people are like, if you don't reach your goal, you're a failure. And I'm just like, that makes no sense at all. So this is why this journey is amazing, because you just start to realize how fortunate you are to have OCD and get better. Think about that. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Number 9, gratitude. Not compulsive gratitude and toxic positivity where everything is great in the world. No, kids are dying from cancer. There's genocides going on that you don't know about. There's communism. There's Marxism. There's all sorts of crazy things where millions of people die and wars and all sorts of stuff. So the world is not a fairy tale place. It's important to realize that. The further you step away from objective reality and what's actually happening, the more, I don't like to use the word delusional, the more irrational your life becomes. Super important to realize that. Because if you don't realize that, it's just like, this is my truth and this is what matters. Well, this is objective reality and it says other. It says otherwise. So it's important to be optimistic, but not blindly optimistic. It's important to have gratitude, but not compulsive gratitude. Not walking around all day being like, I'm so grateful for my life. My life is the best. I am grateful for my life. I have an amazing life. I have great things. I just got this new desk, even though there's an aura behind me. I got my coffee. I got this really cool pear toddy candle. I got a lot of things going for me in my life. And if they all went away tomorrow, I'd figure it out. I wouldn't like it, but I'd figure it out. Number 10, read. The reading list is important. And reading in general is important. In my opinion, the most important thing that you can gain in life is perspective and knowledge, philosophical outlook, facing your fears. Your brain is everything. You are your brain. I like feeding my brain all sorts of crazy stuff. Politics, money, religion, OCD. It's great. I love different stuff. I like, because it was so compulsive for me, I'm like, I need to trigger myself. Now I don't need to do that. But it worked in a way, because now I can listen to things I don't agree with, and it has no effect on me at all. Like zero. I said this recently. I was at a continuing education, and I listened to a guy for 2 hours talk about the neuro of mental health, and it was 100% wrong. And Erica was like, kind of like grabbing me. She was like, I'm like, that's completely fine. I still took a couple really good things away from the talk. I didn't agree with 98%, but I still agreed with 2%, and that 2% has stuck with me. I still talk about it. It's great, even though I just forgot what the 2% was. It happens sometimes when you have ADHD. That's another thing. Let's actually end it with that. This has nothing to do with 10 ways to start your day, but I do want to talk about this. Having ADHD and OCD is asked constantly. I was diagnosed at Robert Wood Johnson, huge neuro hospital in New Jersey, with ADHD when I was young. There is no evidence to say that you having ADHD means you can't reach recovery. It's a fear, as I talk about all the time. You can have ADHD and OCD. You can have OCD and PTSD. You can have GAD, PTSD, and OCD. You can have body dysmorphic disorder, OCD, and PTSD. You can have all these different things going on. It doesn't mean you can't get better. The story you're telling yourself that you can't get better, just look at it rationally. Even if it did hinder your recovery. Does that mean it's not worth working on? Of course it's worth working on. So it's important to talk about that. We don't really talk about that a lot. We don't really dive into ADHD, but I do think it's important to talk about it from time to time because it is a frequently asked question. This is another thing I fixed here. See how if I do this, like the whole entire thing here shakes? I think it's because I have, we'll fix that. See, there's a million things going on here I'm trying to figure out with this new setup. So these are 10 ways to start your day. And there's a bonus one. Have fun and laugh. Joke around. Make fun of yourself. Make fun of OCD to yourself. It's fun. It takes the extra onion layer off. Like we can't take it too seriously. Even when I was suffering at my absolute worst, Rob would joke with me. He would message me because Erica was like, next freaking out. So he would message me and be like, you're an idiot or something because he knows that's how we joke around. I was like, I know. I was like, I'm being crazy, aren't I? I'm being nuts. And he'd be like, yeah, you are. You're being completely irrational. I'd be like, damn it. So have fun, joke around. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. And don't forget to like the video.